2017. Your life purpose. Like, I was born for this, I know it.
Wow.
Everything now has been preparation. And because you're a Virgo, preparation H.
It's great.
So. Hello, my friend and earthly neighbor, and welcome back to the month I'm calling Never the Same, November. Well, we started the Scorpio transit building new boundaries, and then we spent the following week building self-trust. This week, I predict you're going to take one giant leap for your personal transformation. From my smartphone to yours, keep streaming for your weekly Namaste Today. Welcome to Namaste Today, the spiritual way to start your day. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Sensei Christopher Witecki. Welcome back, my friend. Namaste. Well, we are in the month of Scorpio, and that means it's time to draw new emotional boundaries. As I mentioned in the open, we already have worked on where the boundaries should be drawn and expanding our trust. But this week, things get passionate as you move into your life's transformation. So in this week's show, I'm going to walk you through next week and what you can expect leading up to a powerful new moon. And then in our tea time, I'm going to dive into all 12 signs for how the new moon affects you. But first, let's take a look at the week's moods and your zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is from Monday, November 13th to Friday, November 17th, 2017. Looking at your 5-day moodcast. Well, as I look at the week at a glance, it's really a slow build-up to the new moon on Saturday. Let's drill down. On Monday, it's sunny and exploring. Step 21 rules the day, and it's time to explore with Venus on Jupiter what your boundaries can become. On Tuesday, it's sunny and quantum. Expect the unexpected as Step 22 rules the day and brings surprises. On Wednesday, it's overcast, cloudy, and dreamy. Step 23 rules the day, and Saturn moves to Step 26 on the galactic center. On Thursday, it's sunny and loving as it's Love Fest Day, the best day in the world to love yourself and others. And Step 24 rules the day, opening you up to your new transformation. And then on Friday, it's cloudy, overcast, and intuitive. Spirit rules the day right before the new moon. Well, looking at the week ahead, we have Pluto squaring Mars the entire week. That means some tensions, and in our next segment, I'm going to explain what you can do. Taking a sneak peek at the upcoming week, I coined this week, Pioneering Transformation. Now, this entire year of 2017 has basically been about transformation. I argue this year we were stepping away from our karmic suffering and the karmic story we were born into the story we were born to live, the one that our heart intends to manifest where we can have serious joy. And it's been in this Scorpio transit that we've actually been preparing for this transformation. Every month up until Scorpio was us adjusting each state of awareness to be in alignment with this new story. But Scorpio is the sign where we actually draw the line and make the change. In the first 10 days of Scorpio, we were changing boundaries with ourselves. You might have had boundaries that kept you limited, or you may have had boundaries that were wide open, leaving you vulnerable. In the second 10 days, we then worked on boundaries as they related to trust. So modifying our boundaries so that we could trust ourselves, and modifying our outer boundaries so we can trust ourselves in the world, and also trust the world. This week, we do the more difficult job, which is we pioneer our transformation by modifying our emotional comfort zones, or our emotional boundaries. Now, emotional boundaries are literally the boundary of life. We don't think about it that way, but our emotional comfort zones usually determine our potential for success or failure. The better you are equipped to deal with your emotions and self-nurture, and the better you are prepared to prevent emotional turbulence, will determine your potential for success. So as we modify where we're emotionally comfortable with, we modify our life. We transform our life. And this week, through emotional boundaries, I believe you'll be pioneering your changes. Now, that said, I do want to put out a little warning for the week. For the entire week, Pluto is going to be squaring Mars. Mars is our aggressive ego side. Pluto is where we draw an absolute boundary. Now, Pluto's in Capricorn and Mars is in Libra. So what this means is you'll be going back and forth between your ego wanting to forge ahead with a new relationship to yourself and a new relationship with the world, and that might be in conflict with the rules, the way it has been done, tradition, maybe your family heritage. So you're going to find that by trying to become new, you're going to have to change the rules and make decisions that you will live by your own rules, not necessarily by the rules that were set in front of you when you were born. So it's a powerful week of transformation, and I want to walk you through the week Monday through Friday. Now on Monday, I argue it's sunny and exploring on this day. The cool thing about Monday is Venus is conjuncting Jupiter at step 7. So on Monday, I think you're going to open up to some new boundaries with yourself. You're going to have some new courage that you may have not had prior. Venus is our capacity to open up and receive, and Jupiter is our learning and consciousness expansion. They're both at step 7, which is a good thing, and that tells me that our higher self or our spirit is the part that's sort of leading this expansion. But on Monday, don't be too surprised if you don't walk away from the day believing something else about where the line should be drawn or believing something else about what your potential is. So I'm expecting Monday to be a surprising day. Mars is at step 13 on Monday, which means sometime during the day on Monday, you're going to have a breakthrough in your relationship to yourself and therefore your relationship to others. On Tuesday, I predict it to be sunny and quantum. This is because step 22 rules the day, and I'm likely thinking that on Tuesday, whatever you learned on Monday comes to full fruition. So expect the unexpected on Tuesday. Also on Tuesday, egos will be a little easily triggered. The moon will cross Mars during the day, which means aggression and impatience will be at an all-time high for the week. So Tuesday's probably the day that you should tread carefully. Wednesday, I predict it to be cloudy and dreamy. And I believe this is because on Wednesday, you finally come to a big picture about where your emotional comfort zones need to be. And of course, wherever your comfort zone is, will lead into what transformations are possible. Now, the interesting thing about Wednesday is that Saturn moves from step 25 Sagittarius to step 26. Step 26 is I decide, first of all, and Saturn in Sagittarius is us examining the story we were born to live, our fated story, the story that we came down and incarnated for. Also, for anyone born before 2012, Saturn is officially conjuncting your galactic center in your natal chart. So everyone younger than 2012 likely will begin to come to some sort of decision about where their story is going to lead next. So I think Wednesday will be a day full of interesting surprises, and Mercury will be at step 13 Sagittarius, which means our mind will have a breakthrough on that story, and that will likely lead to us starting to commit to what that story is. On Thursday, it's Love Fest Day, the most powerful day of the month to love yourself and love others. Love Fest will actually be at the end of the day in the evening time for the United States, and it will be during the daytime for Europe and Asia. But still, it's a day where the moon will be crossing over Jupiter, and the moon will be crossing over Venus as well. So this is going to be a day where you really expand emotionally and grow emotionally. And once it crosses Venus, this will kind of be the universe sealing it with a kiss. Venus will be at step 11, so on Thursday you are feeling it, and you are feeling in integrity. Mercury's at step 15, which means you're feeling at peace. So I would say Thursday is the most peaceful day. And then on Friday is going to be actually a cloudy day. Step 25 rules the day, and the moon is in Scorpio, leading up to the new moon on Saturday, Sunday. And so Friday will be probably a day where, after the big picture coming clear on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday is really kind of a gut check as to whether or not you feel these changes are appropriate for you. Are they in alignment? Are they in alignment with your soul? Do you feel any dangers? That sort of thing. So Friday will be a bit of a cloudy day and an introverted day, and we have a soul harmonic. The sun's at step 25, which nets to a 7. Mercury's at step 16, which nets to a 7, and Mars is at step 16, which nets to a 7. So something fated or spiritual may happen on Friday. And then on Saturday morning for the United States, Sunday, I think afternoon or Sunday morning for Europe and Asia, we have the new moon. In fact, that is the topic of my tea time. So go steep yourself some tea and let's have our weekly tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is the new moon in Scorpio. Now, this new moon is a very powerful new moon for a couple of reasons. For one, the new moon is at the end of the Scorpio cycle. That's excellent. That's because we are now planting seeds of our new renaissance or our transformation at the end of Scorpio, which means we've had a time to learn everything up until that point and get really clear. The topic, of course, is where we draw our emotional boundaries. And although the first 2 weeks were very much about preparing and having kind of intellectual concepts of where the boundaries actually should be drawn, in this week and leading up to the new moon, you actually dive in the pool. You actually try out the emotional boundaries and feel through it. So by the end of the week, once we have this new moon on Saturday/Sunday in Europe, this new moon will kind of be the final touches of your transformation. It will be a commitment to where those final boundaries will be applied. And the other planets are all sort of chiming in at the same time. For instance, Jupiter and Venus will actually be conjunct during this new moon. Jupiter is at step 8, and what that means is that on the day of the full moon, you are making decisions that are final as far as your boundaries with yourself. So this full moon finalizes boundaries with yourself. Venus will be at step 13, Scorpio, which means as you're finalizing the boundaries with yourself, you're opening up to new boundaries with the world. So it's a simultaneous closing off and opening up going on. And then, of course, the sun is at step 26 in the third decan of Scorpio, which means at the very top you're committing to the big picture. So we kind of have this trifecta. It's one of the reasons why I think it's such a powerful new moon, because we are both solidifying the base, modifying the center, and aiming for the top all in one fell swoop. Now, Mars will be at step 16 Libra, which means at the time of this new moon, your ego is aiming for the highest spiritual intention-based relationship with yourself you can reach. It also means that you're aiming for highly spiritual intention relationships with the world. So as we're modifying these boundaries, our ego is based on spirit, which is, I think, awesome. And as I mentioned earlier, Saturn is at step 26 Sagittarius, which means somehow this new moon, which is also at step 26, is going to be a combination decision of how you wish to transform your life and how you wish to direct your life and direct your story, represented by Saturn in Sagittarius. Now today, the galactic center is actually at step 27 Sagittarius. It moved there after the Mayan shift in 2012, but Saturn at 26 is still conjuncting the galactic center. So this really is a commitment to the direction you want to go, and a more powerful commitment now than we'll see in Sagittarius. We'll find out more about that in December. The last thing I want to point out about this new moon is that the North Node moves to step 18 Leo. It was just step 19 just a couple days prior, but it moves to step 18, which indicates that this new moon, this intention to change your life, this intention to change your emotional comfort zones is going to be the final step of you deciding and taking action in your self-love story. All right? That self-love story we actually amplified in August when we had the Great American Solar Eclipse, which was at step 28 Leo. So since August, we have been working to modify our life, and you could say that this new moon is kind of the signature of us moving forward with that personal dream. Our transformation work is officially done at this point, and once we move into Sagittarius, we're on to the story we were born to live. So I want to walk you through what the new moon does for you in this particular new moon on Saturday, Sunday, and I also want to refer to the solar eclipse because this new moon is technically squaring the spot where we had the Great American Solar Eclipse at step 28 Leo. So what that means is, as we move forward this new moon, you are facing any sort of oppositions or any kind of conflict that happen between the new boundaries and your heart's desires. So I'll be talking about each sign and where they may have to address some conflict or resolution. All right? And as always, let's begin with our truebreds, our Aries. Arieses are making major transformations in their life. They're probably committing to something very large. That could be the change of a relationship. That could be that you decide to have children, or you decide to change your career, or you decide to change your health. I mean, it's a major decision that they're trying to change. And what this is working with, in some cases conflict, in some cases not, is your personal dreams. So in August, Aries set out to manifest their personal dreams, and this particular new moon is going to be the final thing that removes any obstacles from reaching your personal dreams. So whatever you are committing to in your change should be in alignment with what your heart desires. Tauruses. Tauruses are making a new commitment to their long-term relationship agenda. So Tauruses are coming into a new approach to their relationships, and this is also include the relationship to themselves. This, of course, with Jupiter in Scorpio, will be the topic that we work on all year long, but this commitment is the beginning of that change. Now for Tauruses, whatever this relationship commitment is, it coincides with the solar eclipse where you are attempting to create greater emotional security in yourself. So by committing to these relationship changes, you are working towards your emotional security. Gemini. Gemini are making changes in their daily lifestyle. So they're committing maybe to a work change, a lifestyle change. It could also be a body or health change. So they're making a commitment to changing their day in and day out reality. And this commitment coincides with the big picture. So during the solar eclipse, Geminis had a new big picture, a new vision for how they wanted their life. And this is literally the lifestyle change that will make that necessary. Cancers. Cancers are committing now to a new personal dream. This could be love, children, creativity, something they've always dreamed about doing in their life that doesn't fall in those categories. And so by making this commitment to change your emotional boundaries, you will be able to step towards your personal dreams. And this coincides with what you dealt with in August, which was to raise your self-esteem and raise your personal abundance. So it's highly likely that these changes toward the heart cancer will bring you more abundance and more money if you do it correctly. Leos. Leos are making a commitment to their emotional security. That could be a change in how they nurture themselves. It could be a change in their family dynamic. It could be a change in their home and residence at large. And by making this change, this coincides with the August determination to transform their character and transform their ego. So by committing to emotional security, they will come into the power of transforming their ego. Virgos. Virgos are making a commitment to new attitude and a new logic. So Virgos are getting a new mental approach. And that's where their emotional boundaries lie, are in their mind. So they're going to get into new mental comfort zones. By doing that, it's going to address their August intention for higher faith and to go on to their personal spiritual mission. So basically, for Virgos to be on their mission, they must adopt this new attitude. Libras. Libras are making an investment and a commitment to new self-esteem and new potential abundance in their life. So by making this commitment and having new emotional comfort zones about what they will do or won't do to make money, this directly addresses the August issue for them finding their place in society and finding their status in the world. So by committing to a new self-esteem, they're able to move forward in the world. Scorpios. Happy birthday, Scorpios. Scorpios are making a commitment to a whole new character paradigm. That means new behavior, new defenses, new ego. You'll probably see Scorpios get a new hairdo, maybe a new wardrobe. Okay, they're like giving themselves a makeover. Jupiter's in their sign this year, so this is a once every 12-year gigantic makeover. And this completely ties into their August solar eclipse, which was focused on them reaching the stars in their career and their legacy. So this makeover coincides with their career success and their legacy success. Sagittariuses. Sagittariuses are making a commitment now to their higher faith, okay? And this is probably the last brick that they had to put into place for the Saturn transformation. Saturn has been in Sagittarius since 2014 and leaves in December for good, for 30 years basically. So this intention to commit to a higher faith is the last piece of your personal transformation, and it totally coincides with what you were facing in August, which was to aim for a higher purpose in life and a new belief structure. So this is all part of their faith and purpose. Capricorns. Capricorns are committing to a new social calling or place in the world. So they're committing to a new status, a new marketing scheme, a new campaign if they're marketing their own products. And whatever this is, it's tying into their plan since August to transform their entire life. So to transform their life, the universe is saying you must commit to a higher social status or a new comfort zone in society. Aquariuses. Aquariuses are making a new commitment to their career, their future, and their overall life legacy. So if you're retired, this could be your children and your grandchildren, or whatever your projects are, your baseball card collection, whatever that is. So Aquariuses are committing to what they want to leave behind on the earth. And what this coincides to was their commitment since August to get involved in new long-term relationships, transforming the way they live with people, the way they treat themselves, the way they allow themselves to be treated. So they're getting a career and relationship step up with this commitment. And then finally, the Pisces. Pisces are committing to a new belief and a new life purpose for themselves, which is a big deal because Pisces don't often change what they believe. And this coincides with their lifestyle changes. So the lifestyle changes that they committed to in August must coincide with their new beliefs, and they may have to work out tension between the two, but when the new moon is over, Pisces will be on a new trail for happiness and a new definition of what brings their life meaning and purpose. So as I mentioned, this particular new moon, in my opinion, is really the last step in your personal transformation. When you go out there and make it, the two things to think about is, do you feel it? That's the 2 in step 26. And can your heart open up to it? That's the 6 in step 26. So if you feel it and your heart can open up to it, and it's in coordination with the solar eclipse that I spoke about from last August, then you are ready to commit, which is net 8. Make that commitment and don't turn back. All right, friends, that's all I have for this week. Couple of quick announcements. For one, I want to remind you that Serious Joy is now a part of the Ultimate Vitamin Club. Many people pay for vitamins, but they don't get their money's worth because it passes right through their body and never absorbs. But we have teamed up with a company that provides vitamins that are homegrown using yeast, and your body will accept and receive them. Step 6. So if you want to know more about that, come to ultimatevitaminclub.com/seriousjoy. And I want to invite everyone to come join the party that's happening at my personal Sensei service, seriousjoy.com. We have been working to get on our personal transformation. This particular week, I'm going to be working with all the data in their charts to help them identify what might prevent them from transforming. You can give it a try for just $3.99 for the first month. Come on down to seriousjoy.com. And as always, a heartfelt invitation to join the coolest place on Facebook, the Namaste Today Club. This is a club that's totally free and full of other light walkers and light workers. You're more than welcome to come on by. You can post what you do for a living. You can advertise your spiritual products if you have them, and you can meet other like-minded people. If you're interested, come to namastetoday.club. All right, friends, I hope you have a powerful week of transformation, and I'll be back on the other side of this new moon. Remember, I love you. Live, love, be.